by Belquist, and he does an inverted twist. Is he in? He is. Touchdown, Bo Belquist, and that could be your Tiger. Simon Rumfo has it. Simon inside the 5. Sis boom ball. Simon Rumfo, his second touchdown today.
UND Football 360.
Isaiah trying to get outside, a stiff arm, shuts him down, 20, inside the 15, down to the 13-yard line. Oh, that right arm, that stiff arm, and the book of Isaiah has given North Dakota a first down.
Analysis, commentary, news, and a look ahead. It's all things UND football. This is the UND Football 360 podcast with your hosts Kelly Howe, Matt Nelson, and Dave McNamara.
Well, the good news this week is there's still plenty of deer running around Wells County this week. You and your old man, not a great shot over the weekend, huh?
Wow, it's as many are learning when the weather, and everybody knows, when the weather's nice, the deer don't move, okay, because they don't need to eat, so they're not hungry. So and then we find out that the webcams around the area and probably around here too were showing the deer were coming in to eat in front of what the trail cams. I mean, they were coming in to eat at 10 o'clock at night, midnight. So they weren't getting up, leaving at, 5:30 when it's dusk, when they start moving around. No, they're just laying down, taking it easy all day.
You couldn't have broke out the flashlights to go find them?
Yeah. Doug Lear does work in this building.
Yeah.
So
right.
I heard that works really good for deer hunting.
I think we saw about 8 deer, and we literally kicked up all 8. We probably walked 3 miles, I'm guessing, total. And we were exhausted and shot. And the only 8 we saw were ones that we forced to get up because we damn near stepped on them. And the one, we had 2 shots. 2 of them were nice bucks. The one got up between my dad and I down by the water and ran around the corner, entered the field, and my dad and I proceeded to miss 6 times. First shot was about 40 yards.
Were 5 of those your shots?
Oh, 3 of them were. I actually had the 4th one lined up, and I'm like, well, Kelly, let's see. You didn't hit it at 40. You didn't hit it at 80. You didn't hit it at 200. The 450-yarder, him running across the field's probably not going to happen. So I laid off that last one. But, yeah, it was fun. It was just too nice. The first day, opening day, honest to God, yes. Light breeze, okay? Not a cloud in the sky, 55 degrees. Like, oh, my, we were sweating there walking. And it's like, we're not going to see a deer. We did not see one deer running around in 2 days, running on its own, moving around Wells County. I mean, we damn near covered Wells County, okay? Driving around, trying to find spots, trying to hit all our spots, walking, then driving. We're doing it all, right? Not one deer was moving. So it's like, all right, well, and the rut isn't on yet. So it's like, well, all right, what am I, so while we're waiting, there's 2 more weekends. I'm hoping the weather will drop. And by the last weekend, the rut will kick in. And then they'll be all moving.
It's kicking in Otter Tail County. I'm going there this weekend, and our party took $3.
Really?
And they said there's more out there, so hopefully I can get in on that action. But
good deal.
Let's talk about our sponsors here for the 360 pregame show. It's Rumors Sports Bar, Grill, and Casino, where the beer is always cold and flowing, and they got the $7 lunch over there right now. Thanks to everyone at Rumors Sports Bar, Grill, and Casino. And I think we should do another show up there soon.
That'd be fun.
Maybe once a month in the off season.
Drive
up there.
We had a good time up there.
Yeah.
Oh, that was good.
And then we'll stick around a little longer to get in on the Development Homes Inc. Gaming, Simulcast, Horse Racing, Pulltabs, Blackjack, Pig Wheel. You can spend a whole afternoon in there, Kelly, with the Simulcast Horse Racing.
Into the night, I believe it was. Yeah, we did it till I believe they all shut down. We were there till about 11, and we started on the East Coast, and we played all the way to the West Coast. We were down at Santa Anita or something like that out was at the end, at the end of the night. And then that one shut down. We're like, well, we're out of horses to bet on.
Well, my dad always said, never bet on a gray horse. So make sure you always see the horses before you bet on them.
No.
Kelly Howe Agency, Nodak Insurance. Any auto claims this week from Deer?
No, I haven't got any calls on that.
None.
Home rates. Home rates are
We're
good.
pushing home rates this week.
Just want to put the pitch out. Yeah, home rates.
What's your phone number? Really well. What's the phone number to call you?
701-532-0624 office line.
That's a good number.
Yeah, it is.
It's the number to happiness, right? Toasted Frog, fine dining in downtown Grand Forks and Fargo. Perfect date night place. You want to check out the Toasted Frog. The 1883 Collective, that NIL arm for UND Athletics. If you're a business owner and you want to really help UND right now, thank you so much. And American Solutions for Business, Tank McNamara, can pretty much help you with anything with the logo. T-shirts are coming this week. They shipped yesterday. So
all right,
we're
new
excited
T-shirts
to
coming
have
in, folks.
our new T-shirts.
Yeah, we got the green one. We got the white UND,
white and black logo.
360 logo.
Yeah, we got the website logo on the back. So if you want to find out more, tanklogo.com. Just check it out there. Well, it was a tough loss at home, something that doesn't happen very often, and one of our worst losses at home in some time. Hawks lose to South Dakota State University 38-7. And fellas, I was feeling pretty good when it should have been 10-0 in the first quarter. I was like, here we go. And
then it
didn't last long, did it?
That's the opportunity that we kind of missed, where we needed to keep the throttle down and just keep a team like SDSU on their heels a little bit, and just didn't happen. We just had a breakdown, and obviously we all saw the second quarter, and the wheels came off the wagon, so to speak, in the second quarter, and we couldn't just ever recover.
Yeah, that field goal, I mean, Nelrick's, we missed. It was close, but yeah, you got to, against these guys, like you said, it was a great point. You got to just get them all. You got to get everything. Right. And the inevitable kicked in, I guess. They just have a better team than, they're good. There's a reason why they won back-to-back national championships, but it kicked in a damn hurry in that second quarter, and they turned it on us. We fumbled, gave them another one right back again. And yeah, it was, that Isaiah Smith run, though, it's just electric. And I think I was out driving at that point when I was hunting, and Jack had a great call on it, and it was good. I mean, great start. Nice. Yeah. It was nice blocking up front. Isaiah saw the hole, cut left, little jump cut left, and got out there. So the crowd was into it. It was the start we wanted. It's not like we didn't have a chance.
Could ask for a better start.
Right. So yeah, just tough. It's nothing to be, they played hard. I mean, it's like, I never question the team's effort. They haven't quit. They never quit. But back in the start of the transition, I would say there were some teams that quit. I mean, they did not look like there can be. These kids play hard. I mean, they're going hard. They're trying. There can be. South Dakota State had so many weapons.
Yeah,
that they just started hitting you.
Did they do anything different?
No. They didn't even run. I noticed they didn't even play Chase Mason. I mean, I was worried about them bringing him in at quarterback doing the QB power stuff. He didn't even play. Mm-hmm. And no, they didn't really. I mean, it was their normal stuff.
Because they weren't flustered at all. They didn't look at it really in the first quarter.
They've been down before. I mean, they've won tight games already this year. So it's nothing really surprised SDSU that they couldn't recover from. And I remember we talked to Sam Herder a couple of years ago, and the teams that are actually built to win the national championship, and they showcased that this past weekend, that they're poised to make a good run in the playoffs again, because they're a very talented team. And
defense.
Starts with defense. Were you surprised we weren't able to do more offensively? I thought we'd have a few more points on the board the way we've been playing.
Yeah, I mean, I think they just shut it down quick. I mean, they gave up. I think they adjusted quick. Just to what we're doing. It almost not like they made any adjustments. Just the players mentally just gauged in and said, "Okay, this guy blocks this way. This guy blocks this way. This way. Okay."
They got the feel.
All right,
of the game.
Yeah. Get a feel for the other team across. That happens. You don't have to change anything. But it changed so quickly. It was like, I mean, I thought we would have got more points. Yeah. But we just aren't dynamic. We just don't score like they do. We don't look like they do. You know what I mean? And they just, and like when they're big plays over the top, to Wildy in particular, too much time, the blocking, I think they kept a tight end in. So it was technically a max protect look. But if he has 4 seconds to stand back there and Wildy can make 3 moves or whatever he made, he came off. I think he weaved out, then he cut in for the post. Well, it's just too much time. Like, and anybody's going to get open, especially the best. So yeah, it was, it just got away. You know what I mean? One of those where the better team asserted themselves. It got away, but it got away so quick in the second quarter. It's like, well, what do you do? And then they just shut it down. Second half, they shut their offense down, kind of, got the score to go up 38-7. And then just, the writing was on the wall. We couldn't get anything going. They knew we couldn't get anything going. So they just took it easy, made sure they didn't make any mistakes. And yeah, it's just, I mean, we were talking off the air, kind of inevitable, they're better than we are. They're just, there's a reason why they're ranked number 3 in the country, but I wish it would have been a little closer than it was is all, but it's one of those games where you just move on.
Yeah. And we also talked too, that beginning of the season, we kind of saw this as, okay, we're probably not going to be able to beat SDSU at the beginning of the season. We're looking at this game as, so overall, there's really not a surprise there when we're looking at, okay, we can be 7-4 by the end of the season. And of that 4, SDSU was probably one of those losses that there's really not a big surprise in this one. So just because they brought so many guys back and, back-to-back national champs. So, and they still have the quarterback Gronowski, who looked pretty good too on Saturday.
Speaking of their defense, so, let's look at the stats a little bit. They're defensively, they had 8 tackles for loss and 5 sacks. I mean, they're not even a pressure. Like, they don't bring a ton of pressure. They just know that their 4 up front are pretty good. We talked about this before. Some teams just like their 4.
Yep.
Well, then great. You're in business. You can drop 7 all game, type of thing. They don't bring a ton of pressure, and they had 8 tackles for loss and 5 sacks. It's like, ugh, you kind of hate to see that against them. Just active. They were just really, and they're bigger. They're bigger across the board than we are. Their linebackers, they just look bigger. Okay, they're 6'3". It's just how it is. We've talked about this in the offseason. UND's got to get longer, got to get bigger, got to get better, longer guys. And we just don't look like they do out there. And it shows up eventually, over the course of a game. So, yeah, I mean, I go down to UND. We had 1 tackle for loss and 0 sacks.
But then, going back to that, what we should have, and woulda, coulda, shoulda, but we lost 3 pretty good offensive linemen.
Yeah.
That they're just not easy to replace, right?
Right. And
big quality offensive linemen. And, I think we've gotten by this year, but when you're going against, as you said, probably the best defensive line in the country, there's work to be done. And,
right. Well, it shows up. Yeah, it showed up. That's a good point, Tank. Over the course of the year, yeah, we started out good. And this O-line has overachieved, in my opinion.
100%. Yeah.
No,
because the guys we're missing aren't actually, they're contributing where they left, right?
Yeah,
they're not just not sitting there getting beat up in practice every day.
Well, yeah, Hagen's playing for South Dakota State, and Kilty at Kansas State. So, it's a good point. And we're probably, we played 4 teams. We beat Montana, but the other 3 after that probably weren't very good. But the offensive line has played admirably, let's call it, for what they are. None of them played before. I mean, there was no experience there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Other than Seth out at right tackle. So, yeah, I mean, I don't, there's nothing to really blame. We're not looking for blame or anything. We're just like, hey, they probably hit their ceiling a little bit when you have to take on NDSU, SDSU, now this week USD. USD's defense might be better than SDSU's. Okay, we're going to see that this weekend. Now, we'll see. Maybe famous last words here, but they're pretty good.
Yeah,
when
good.
You look at the stats, they're number 1 in the league for a reason.
Right.
They should have beat SDSU. I mean, they had that game.
Yeah.
The kicker makes a field goal. I think they win.
And the game was in Brookings too.
So they're
that game tight.
They're pretty good too. So yeah, it's but offensive side of the ball, Gronowski was as advertised. He had a whole day back there, too much time, and he's good. Obviously won the Walter Payton Award. He's the best. That's the best.
And our depth at D line isn't the greatest right now, right?
Thin, just not what it needs to be. I think it was fine. They did what they could. They brought in some transfers and stuff, but it's just not what it needs to beat a South Dakota State. Right. I mean, so now you've seen it, you say, hey, you keep chasing those guys. All right. Hey, look at their guys, look at our guys. Hey, we got to get better, type of thing. That's what's nice about playing in the Missouri Valley. I've said this many times. No illusions of grandeur, or whatever they call that. From the Big Sky days. Hey, we can compete now. No, it's just in your face. Right. I don't know how else to say it. You see them. Okay. We need to get better. Right. That's all. So yeah, the Johnson brothers at running back, Angel Amar, 175 yards. They were pretty good going around that end, boy. That 21, he's fast. Oof, that guy's a good player. But then Griffin Wilde, 140 yards, 3 touchdowns. UND offered him, I remember, out of high school, but weren't going to get him out of South Dakota. So, yeah, he was good, and like we said, he got a lot of time. They had time. Okay, and a good player like that is going to get open. You give Bo Belquist 4 seconds, he's getting open. Yeah, that's a touchdown. Okay, every time. I mean, it's just how it is, in football. So, yeah, I don't know. What do we? Anything else?
5-5 now. Yeah. The season isn't over, right? It isn't.
It's not over by any means. We still have 2 games to play, and hopefully we can rebound from this one and put something together against another very good opponent. Probably just as good and talented as SDSU. So if there's anything left in the tank, we got to be able to recover from this. And, I don't think the 38-7 loss is reflective of the talent or anything like that on our team. Like they don't give up. They play hard, but hopefully they can grow on the mental aspect and be able to recover from this and understand that, yeah, there's still something to play for, but we have to win the last 2 games, and you have to beat South Dakota State South Dakota decisively this coming weekend to be able to get a good bid to hopefully get a bid for the playoffs.
Well, like Sam Herder said, I guess there's an outside shot. Yeah. But that's just
so you're saying there's a chance, right? Yeah.
Very slight one. But yeah, it's you beat South Dakota hypothetically. All right, you beat South Dakota. I guess we're back in it just because the FCS is so upside down this year. And they're, it's a 12, which I didn't think 7 would do it. But I suppose if you say, all right, of your 7, 2 are Montana and South Dakota. Okay, well, then now I suppose the resume is looking pretty good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Against maybe 2 ranked opponents, number 4, and then number 5 is USD this weekend. So
in the past, there was 9 win teams in an 11-game season that didn't get in because they had 9 bad wins, in a Big South, that type of thing. So I guess, over an 8-win team, yeah. So they still have stuff to play for. It's just uphill because,
right?
Dang it, because South Dakota is just so good. They're better. This is the best South Dakota team I've seen ever in my entire life. I followed UND since I was a kid.
Yeah, that's going back to
85. I think they made the national championship against NDSU.
NDSU.
So maybe I don't remember.
I bet this team probably beat that one.
Well,
yeah.
You can't compare the 2 eras, and stuff. But I'm just saying, in an overall team, yeah, since 1985, then let's say, okay, this is the best team without a doubt that South Dakota's had because we've watched them, we've played them every year because we were in the Great West with them, in the D1 area. They were never even close to this. So, UND hasn't had a team that's, looked as good as South Dakota does this year, especially on defense. Mm-hmm. Their offense is, they're putting up good yards. We're going to get into it later, but they're, it's an uphill battle, but there is a chance. It sounds dumb, but there is a chance.
There's a glimmer of something to play for. Right. That's the positive over this.
And we're at home this week.
Right. Yeah.
You can't throw that out.
Yeah.
Let's take a trip around the Missouri Valley Football Conference. Probably a fun game to watch. Southern Illinois and Youngstown State on Saturday. Southern Illinois picks up the win 37-33. Kind of an interesting game there, right?
Huge comeback. What was Youngstown up? I don't even remember. 20, 24. They were something up. I mean, it was in Southern Illinois has nothing to play for. Nothing. They're beat up, done. They got 6 losses or something. They're done. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they come storming back. And I remember seeing on Twitter the Youngstown guy. We're like, what is going on? All of a sudden they're sending out tweets like, what are we doing like on this situation? Why did we do that? You know, type of thing. And sure enough, it gets away. And Southern Illinois pulls off the win like crazy, you know. But
South Dakota picks up the shutout 49-0 over Indiana State. That's not what we want to see doing this right now, but
how many did we give up?
To 30.
35, 31.
I think so. So
49-0.
Oof. Yeah.
That's what I said. These guys.
So you're saying their defense is okay?
They're good. I didn't realize they were that good until I started watching a little more and then looking at the Missouri Valley stats. So this is good. Bob put together a good team down there, and 49-0. I mean, South Indiana State's not. They've scored on teams, you know, and they're better this year. They, you know, a 4 to 5 win team. Call it. You know that if you had to guess without looking at their record, you'd say they can win a few games, type of thing. Jesus. 49. Yeah, I don't know. That's impressive.
It is impressive.
Illinois State beats Northern Iowa 31-9, but the big news out of Northern Iowa is Farley announced his retirement.
Yeah, that's great career though. I mean, he's been there for what, 35 years, 40, close to it.
What, Terry Allen, it said, hired him in 89. So yeah, it's 35.
35.
Doing the math, I'm not very
over
good at
30
math,
anyway.
Yeah,
made it very clear doesn't like the direction of college football right now. His post game or his
I think he's
press conference.
Spending too much time on that stuff and losing guys and never knowing who's going to be back. And then mid-season, you'll notice after 4 games, all guys are. I don't know if he had any, but you'll notice around the country, I'm redshirting. I'm going to be done. Well, you're redshirting to enter the portal after the season, so then you lose. Some guys that might have played 4 games for you. Yeah, just the whole direction. The older coaches who have seen the other side of the coin are just not interested.
Yeah, he's sounded like he's had enough of this.
And
he's had a great career.
Can't blame him. I mean,
good for him.
College football has changed.
Yep.
No doubt about it.
Missouri State continues winning games 59-31 over Murray State and not playoff eligible.
Thank God.
Yeah.
No, I mean, they would take a spot for sure. They're good.
Yeah, they are good.
That coach has done a nice job retooling. It took him a couple of years since Petrino left, but they're putting up a ton of points this year. Yeah, they're getting ready. Where are they? Conference USA? Is that what they're joining? Or Sunbelt, one of the two, I think, or something. But yeah, they're leaving. So, but they'll be good down there. I mean, good area to recruit. I don't think it's outstanding, but I think it's in the centrally located. At least you can put your tentacles out a little bit and go to different states,
right?
Stuff like that. So
we're take it easy on the FBS talk over there. I see your Twitter feed this week. What do you know?
Hey, 4 years I've been saying that they're going to go. So when they do, that means I'm right. Like, I don't think he understood how dumb that sounded when he said that. Feely, what are you talking about? Like, yeah, you've said it for 4 years. Should I just start saying right now that UND is going to go FBS? So then in 5 years when it happens, I was right. Yeah. And you guys were all wrong, you naysayers. It's been 4 years. He said it himself that it's been 4 years. McFeely said, I've been saying it for 4 years. That was straight out of his mouth.
I would say.
So it's like, what?
He's wrong. I think it's been closer to 10 years. He's been saying it, but.
Well, it's just like, God, I mean,
gotta
it just doesn't
love
make any sense.
The X, right? Isn't that a fun tool?
Oh, yeah. On the engagement, you got the followers jump up and stuff, whatever.
There's a lot of people
that throw stuff out there and get the fire, stoke the coals a little bit.
A lot of people that think really highly of you. I was reading their comments. It was fun, but hey, let's move ahead to Saturday, the 360 game preview. Thanks to our friends at the Toasted Frog. Noon kickoff at the Alaris Center, taking on the old South Dakota Coyotes. I wonder if Wiley Coyote will be there.
Yeah, they're the Yotes, like we talked about. They are they're feeling good down in Vermilion, and they should be. I mean, not a lot of success in the history of that program. There just hasn't been. I mean, it's not, and that's not putting them down. We've been a long time rival of theirs.
Right.
I respect their program. It's fine, but they haven't had a lot of success.
But they've invested in the program too, because when we were always down there, it did not feel like you were at a football stadium, right? I mean, it felt weird.
And their basketball arena,
and pulling into Vermilion, it just felt like a dump, right? I mean, it was like, why are we here today, right?
Well, you have to stay in Yankton, and stuff,
I always did a day trip. I never made the stay down there, but you look what they've done with the Dakota Dome. I haven't been there since they put the resources into it, but it feels like a home field advantage now. The fans are right on top of the action. They've got rid of that track and the high school bleachers that it look like in there.
The basketball court behind there.
It's all
behind the bleachers, and then you sit underneath the stands. You're kind of tucked underneath. That was kind of interesting.
They have their students right above us. In the bench is like literally right below all the student section, and they would be throwing shit on you. I mean, it was just a bad atmosphere back then. But
I remember I caught crap one year. I from my own teammates, of course. Got an interception towards the end of the game. Ran out of bounds, so I didn't get hit and fumble it. Ran into their male cheerleader. He knocked me down. Like he did. He just knocked me down. Okay. So I'm laying there. I reach up. He reaches his hand down and helps me up like I'm the little child. Guy was as big as I was bigger. I mean, he was a big dude.
Film session was a blast that week.
Just people giving me crap because it was on the TV, when we reviewed it. So I'm like, whoa, I didn't see him. Number one. Number two, he's bigger than me and whatever.
Hardest hit of the day was the cheerleader.
Yeah, I know. He just knocked me down. But
no, it's good to see them put resources into their programs down there. But boy, they really escalated in a hurry. Number 5 in the country. That just kind of, it doesn't sound right. I mean, and like you said, they haven't been historically a football program.
It's kind of going off last year too, because you look at their resume is not very good. It's not, but they're good. They're a good team, so it's kind of a weird deal. So at this time of the year, you want to turn into a resume person. Hey, let's look at the resume. Let's compare, right? Well, their wins are Northern State, who's D2. It's fine. But at Wisconsin, they lost, and they were in that game. I watched it. They were in, I think they had 1st and goal, down 9 or 10, third quarter, and something fell apart. And they had to kick a field goal, and then they never got back down there again. But they had a chance in that game. So that was kind of a telling. But Drake, Southern Illinois, Murray State, Northern Iowa, Youngstown, Indiana State. They haven't, maybe Drake has a winning record. But the rest of them all have losing. I mean, they haven't beat anyone.
But look what everyone's done to Drake in the Valley whenever they play him.
Right. So really, it's a poor resume as far as wins go, but they're pounding those teams though. So that's one thing to be said. You got to give them credit for that.
But you have to look at their quality loss though.
Yeah. Really. God, let's look at quality losses. Who cares about that?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's look at quality losses, Kelly. South Dakota State. They should have won that game.
They should have. Okay, yeah. So that's what I mean.
That was even at worst. It was even. Yeah. An even game.
So I mean that's legitimately if there was ever a quality loss, that would be a quality loss. Yeah. Like that game.
And they got NDSU next week, so that'll be telling. But it's at home. They got NDSU at home, so that'll be telling. Let's see. Next week. So at the end of the they're gonna get a seed, but it's just kind of a weird schedule in that there were so many teams with losing records in the Missouri Valley this year and they played them all. They didn't play Missouri State, like that. So guys like
if
that.
If you're a Coyote fan, you have a real opportunity in front of you. I mean, you got UND this weekend, and then you got NDSU the weekend after at home.
They beat NDSU. They're a top 2 seed
at least, right? Because NDSU's won, right?
So 2 in Montana State will probably get the 1 then. NDSU would drop. Yeah, they'd be try 2 or 3. South Dakota State would probably go to 2. They'd go to 3 just because they beat them. But still, you're home field. Right?
Home field for the playoffs. So that's not a bad situation.
They're good. They're a good team. And here's what's interesting, Bob. Bob Nielsen, they wanted him gone. What was it, 2 years ago? They want him gone.
Well, he had him going in the right direction, and then took a step backwards, right?
They got hit by
that
the
was a
portal,
Strevler factor.
Yeah,
too.
they got hit by the
Strevler.
portal too, didn't they? 2-3 years ago.
He came
Did
from
they?
Minnesota,
I think
didn't
so,
he?
Yeah, and Strevler single-handedly, ran that offense to where I think they won a playoff game that one year, 18 maybe, something like that. They 17 or something, but they and then all of a sudden they went down, and his record at USD is only 49-47. So he's a 500 coach, and it's just his D1 record 65-75. So he's not. I mean,
where was he?
Western
Illinois
for a little bit and wanted to get out. They took him. They were one of those that. Well, they took ours. That was 15. They took our spot in the playoffs. Them and they only had 6 wins. Remember?
That's right.
They were 6-5,
right.
but 2 solid wins, and we're good. Well, there was some politicking going on behind the scenes. We found out, but
Quality
them
losses.
and Eastern Illinois had the quality losses, and Western Illinois had the quality wins. So they couldn't lose. Those two couldn't lose. Only UND could lose. It's like one of those deals. But yeah, he's turned it around. And the D coordinator, Johansson, I think he came from Grandview or something. I remember when they hired him, and I'm like, Grandview, that's interesting. Who's this guy? Wow, pretty good. Apparently, he's got a good. And they're recruiting well. I mean, look at you when you look at their body types again out there. The safeties are a little shorter. It's 5'11", whatever. But they're aggressive as all hell. It's like, Jesus, these guys. I mean, they're out there. Their corners are super aggressive. They had that Harden kid the last few years. He's in the NFL, I think. They play defense. Just the run support is outstanding. Secondary run support. And that's where UND can, look at that and say, hey, we got to get better. We got to get more physical and just, damn near getting fist fights with guys across. They're just out there brawling. I mean, it's a aggressive, hyper defense out there, and it shows in the stats. What did I have written down? They're second. Well, their offense second in yards. I mean, they're first and second in everything. In every category, their defense is. So it's like they give up 100 yards rushing a game.
So how do you attack
number
them?
one? Oh, God.
How do we attack them this week?
Probably inside.
Come on, coach.
Yeah, I think you can go inside against these guys a little more. I don't know. I think you can. I think you can go straight at them a little more than you can South Dakota State.
Yeah, and you're going to have to. If you want to win if you're playing to win this football game, you have to be able to run the inside zone on them.
It's got to be more of that. And it's going to be tough getting open. They're handsy. They're handsy in the second. They've always been handsy. So there's going to be holding, and as I showed in my clip on Twitter, the Missouri Valley doesn't call holding at the line on anyone. I mean, it's not even UND. I was talking about the whole league. They don't call holding, and they don't call holding at corners either. So it's going to be tough. Like Bo, Caden Dennis, they're going to have to fight through that stuff. And if they're getting held, they got to show it. They got to spin quick or something, show you, because it's tough getting open against these guys.
We're at home, so I mean, if there's ever a home field advantage for refs, I mean, sell it.
How did you like to hold?
I didn't hold.
Oh, whatever.
Ran right next to him, swatting arms, just bumping. There's no holding going on. Oh, I didn't have to hold. I was 6'5", I'm taller than them, just covered them up. No, corners hold though. They hold a lot because they're up there jamming.
Yeah.
And then if they get beat by one little move, first instinct grab. But it's good. If you get away with it, it's fine. But it's going to be tough out there. They're aggressive corners, handsy. It's tough. It's just going to be, especially like their offense now. If we transition to the other side,
starts with the run game, huh?
Ooh,
225 yards rushing per game.
Second in the league again. So we faced number one last week, and we're giving up. I mean, we're giving up 225 to 300 and change every week lately. So you know what they're going to do. Tice and Pierre Jr. They're the two running backs. We've seen plenty of Tice over the years. I don't know what just a bowling ball. I mean, he just doesn't go down. So if we have tackling issues this week, it's going to be tough because he's going to make the first guy miss. And they got a nice compliment. Carter Bell, look at the receiving, Carter Bell and that Queron Adams. He's a smaller guy, but Carter Bell's been around for a long time. UND recruited him, actually offered him, I remember, in the summer, but he's closer to down there. I didn't want to stay close and play for South Dakota, but he's a good playmaker, type of guy, kind of a Bo Belquist type, carve you up, good route runner type of thing. Not gonna blow by you down the field, but he'll get open. And but Pierre Jr., the running back, 872 yards, Tice 650 yards. Between the two of them, 24 touchdowns for those two guys. I mean, it's a ball control offense. They don't take many chances. They're not going to make mistakes. They're going to try to pound you. And then when they throw, it's going to be deep crossing routes, deep combination routes to where they max protect and they have time. And Bauman, their quarterback, Aiden Bauman, I played against his dad actually when he was at St. Cloud State.
I think it was
96. I think Todd Bauman was at. It was an ice bowl. We went down to St. Cloud, complete ice. Field was complete sheet of ice and raining.
The old prison.
Worst day ever. Yeah,
right? Yeah.
Worst day ever. And we went down there and we beat him pretty good. He wasn't able to showcase his arm in that day, but he was good. You could tell when it came out, it was coming out quick. He had a huge arm. While his kid's 6'5", 245. It says
he's a big kid. Yeah.
Oh, so he lefty. So he gets back there. They protect. They give him time, and kind of like last week, Gronowski, get back there, give him time. It's going to be a lot of that this week when they do take their chances and they're done running at us. We got to be covering because we got to recognize it. Don't bite on that run because that's when they hit you, and then they run it at you 7 more times in a row, wear you down, then hit you again, and it's tough. They do a good job offensively. Josh Davis, the OC, came from South Dakota State, so I think he played there, coach there, and then all of a sudden Bob hired him away from South Dakota State he was the wide receiver coach, I think, or something at there. So yeah, a little interesting move, but he's done a nice job, and they know their personnel. They don't do anything that they're not good at. So I don't know, guys. Yeah. This is it's an interesting one. When you look at the stats, it's a tough one. Tough one to what else do we got here? I'm trying to pull up those stats. I mean, is there an angle of this thing that I don't know. I'm trying to think how we just run support. I mean, is it just, do we got to just commit? Is this a game where we commit and hope on the back end?
I think so. I think we just have to play reckless, abandoned football and play like our lives are on the line, really. I mean, that's what it comes down to. And then just, we have to take chances. We have to be able to get players in the positions to take chances and then make plays too. I mean, it comes down to, our guys being able to play against good opponents. We've talked the last 10 minutes about how good USD is and how good their players are. This is a chance for our guys to be, I'm as good as that other guy across from me, and, go out there and prove it. Don't just roll over. I think we rolled over a little too soon last week. So if there's any sense of vengeance that you want to take out on South Dakota, you got to play for something, right? So I think that's what we have to do. And don't worry about what USD is really doing. We got to be able to not beat ourselves coming into this game. That's the biggest key. I saw us last week beat ourselves. We cannot beat ourselves going into this game.
You need to have that talk yet at halftime of the Montana game before you take the field on Saturday.
Yeah.
We need to see that team on Saturday, right? That came out in the second half.
It just seems like we got amped up for the game. We have a great first quarter. We have great things happen. We put ourselves in position to win. And then all of a sudden, wait a minute. No, actually, this other team is better than us. So then we just kind of fold.
Right. And the other thing too,
we can't let that happen. That's my key for this game, to be able to beat USD at home, is we cannot beat ourselves. If we don't beat ourselves, we have a chance at beating USD at home.
Everything's got to go correctly. I mean,
right.
It's got to go well.
We have to play flawless football, right?
We keep mentioning 3-phase football, right? It has not been happening at all. Our special teams haven't done a thing in weeks on end. I mean, I don't even remember the last time we made a big play on special teams. That's when we're best. I mean, we say it every week. We need it.
Remember against USD, the opening kickoff. Who ran it back? Red
Wilson. Yep.
Red Wilson.
That was our only touchdown of the day.
That was our only touchdown. So we
could have won that game.
We
too.
could have won that one.
10-0.
Right.
We're up 10-0, I think, or something like that for a good majority of the game. The defense is actually playing pretty well. And it just slipped away slowly, type of thing. Pregame made that outstanding play when he chased that guy down, knocked it out, and recovered it himself. I mean, it was like insane play, and we easily could have won that game down there in Vermilion. So, I mean, there's a chance. It's just right now, there's no, like Elric's missed a field goal again last week. We talked about that. And then got a field goal blocked. We're not returning kicks with any vengeance, really. Punt block, we're not getting anything. We're not returning anything. We never really did. I mean, we kind of just fair catch. That's fine. But it's not a three-phase thing going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I don't know. I've said, even when Brady Oliveira was playing, when he started getting it going inside and he started dragging guys, and then the crowd started sensing that the other team couldn't tackle him. Now all of a sudden the defense was juiced up, and it was kind of they all feed off each other thing, right?
Right.
And that's kind of how the team UND has worked over the years. This year, the last X number of games, there's no feeding off any. There's no food.
There's
there.
no spark.
There,
sometimes it takes a play. Yeah. One guy on the team being able to make a play, and that's what I was talking about. Yeah. Okay, I'm going against this guy. I'm not going to let him beat. I'm better than this guy. I'm going to make a play on this guy, right? And that's the spark that we need to be able to feed off of. And yeah, you're right. UND has always been traditionally a team that does that really well. Like if we have one guy that can make a play, doesn't matter who it is, it's randomly different people all the time.
Right.
But if it's a run back, but also last year, like we had Red Wilson run one back and then the Wyatt Pregame, but then we kind of fell short everywhere else in that game. So, we just need that full game. And if there's anything left to play for, you have no choice but to do it this game.
And it keeps the crowd in it. And we know how important that is to this program.
Oh God, the home crowd's huge. Well, if there was ever a game to try something, they're like, I'm a huge fake punt guy. We all know that type of thing, or coming after a punt block, if you sense something on tape, anything, and there should be some sort of, Sean Kostic is pretty good at it, identifying things during the week.
Which one we got earlier this year, I think they'd saw something on tape.
Oh yeah,
right?
they moved Erkman over, slid Erkman over, late overloaded one side. No, I don't know if that was specific or if it was just, hey, we're doing it if we get this look and let's hope it works. But numbers are numbers, and there has to be something we can exploit. There's got to, in a game like this where you're 5-5 and you have to win. Well, you might as well go down swinging if you're in it. Now, South Dakota State last week, I'm not coming after punts and stuff if it's also 24-7, 39. It's like, all right, well, the point. But if this game is second quarter 7-7 and you got a feeling, 10-10, okay, and we got a feeling, hey, we're in this. We're going to be in this till the end of the fourth quarter. It's just that type of game. Now you start, what can we do? What can we do, guys? Do we see anything? A kick return reverse. I don't care.
Something to flip the field on them.
Right.
Quick.
Yep. We got to try something.
And then get an extra possession in the game, because it's these games, these rivalry games, traditionally, look at USD, SDSU, look at NDSU, SDSU game. They come down to a possession game. Whoever has the ball last is going to probably win the game. And so when you start looking at those things, you need something special in that game to be able to break your way. And sometimes it just takes individual effort, that spark. So we need that. Hopefully we can do it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, I'm assuming the crowd will be all right. Deer hunting's over. Last home game of the year. So, I'm assuming it'll be a decent crowd. South Dakota.
You already gave up on deer hunting?
Well, I'm not going this way. It's nice out still. It's like, well, why am I going back there? Kill myself again? I mean, my dad and I were damn near having the big one out there. I mean, we're out of shape. I forgot he's getting older now. Can't keep putting him in those situations. It's like, because we're used to walking. We're walkers. We don't sit in tree stands. It's walking up and down hill, through brush, through cattails.
Maybe it's time to
sloughs.
buy a tree stand.
Yeah, I know. That's the next
I'll
thing.
be-
Conversation.
I'll
We got
be sitting pretty nice this weekend. So
that's the thing. We got to transition out of this and be like, what do other people do? Maybe go out west mule deer or something to where you kind of just spotting them and hoping and getting up on them, shooting. But then you got to drag them out of there, I suppose, or something. You got to be able to get to them. So I don't know. I don't know if there is, like in North Dakota, I just don't know if there's the easy. Do people sit in tree stands in North Dakota?
I
Like a
don't-
lot.
I don't think
I
so.
think they do a little bit.
If you're bow hunting, you do.
Yeah.
Or muzzle loading, I think
suppose.
maybe.
But yeah, where we go, you just don't do that. It's all open, and stuff, open fields, and the deer are there. But if it's warm, you got to find them.
You hunt deer like pheasant hunting.
Pretty much. That's what it is. The pheasants are getting up the same. I mean, we got up, minimum 20, 25 pheasants, I'd say, because numbers were up in Harvey for pheasants. So they're getting up all over. It's good to see.
The way you hunt, that first beer when you're taking your boots off, there's nothing that tastes any better than that at the end of the day, right? That's a good one.
Hey, I saw 3 moose too. So there's a refuge area. Quick story before refuge area south of Harvey. Jungle, total jungle. You can't even find anything in there, but people still try to go in and try to get deer out of there. But it's a massive black trees, and all of a sudden I see something. I'm like, Dad, we're driving by it. I'm like, there was something there. I go, it wasn't a deer. I go, are there cows in there or something? I go, it's huge. And he's like, I don't know. Let's go. He goes, so we drive down the road. We're waiting. All of a sudden they pop over the fence. The mom jumps over the fence and runs across the road in front of us.
Wow.
A moose with 2 calves. And the calves were monstrous. Like you think calves, the mom was big enough. So then here's the funny part. The 2 calves didn't know how to get over fence. So they ran along the fence for a half a mile. So we're driving on the road. Mom's across the road waiting for them. They're running along the fence because they don't know how to get over. We stopped. We're thinking, okay, we're bothering them. So we just stop. We're like, oh, let them go. They get to the corner and they sit there and look at each other. They didn't know how to get over a fence. I don't think they'd ever done it before. Also, then all of a sudden it dawned on the light bulb went off. They jumped over, which is obviously easy for them to do. But yeah, they hop over the fence then and run across the road. Well, by that time, Mom was gone. Mom got pissed, I think. Yeah. She took off. She was a mile away. So, right. We watched her run away. They get across the road. Those 2 are standing there in the middle of a stubble field looking at each other.
What are
looking
we
for their mom. They're looking for their mom. I think they're gonna there. So that was funny though. But yeah, it was a little story, but made it a little interesting. But yeah, well, maybe next week, 2 weekends. We need the weather to drop, and I need to get the word that the rut is on. And then I'm back. and then I'll head back out there. But if it stays 50 degrees, there's no reason.
Have you tried to bake a corn?
Yeah. Apples, rotten apples. That brings them in. But no, we'll see. But yeah, the crowd should be good though. I mean, I think people will be, energetic. Old rival.
Say goodbye to the seniors at least, anyway.
Yeah, senior day.
Senior day.
Yep. Good senior class. So,
what's that like getting ready?
What's that
for your last regular season home game? Did it mean anything to you guys?
Yeah, it did.
For the game,
to me, it did. Yeah. I mean,
you want to play a little extra harder that day?
I don't know about that, but it just
I played hard every day, Tank.
Yeah, whatever.
Right.
I think morning side. I was really late.
Yeah.
I think Kelly was inside.
You left the keg party at midnight instead of 9 the night before, right? And Morningside came to town.
But hey, we need predictions here, guys. We can't forget that 1 week we forgot it. I caught crap from a bunch of people. So predictions, Tank.
God, it was way off. I thought our offense was going to do more last week, but I still want to say that 38-14 South Dakota.
38-14. Yeah. What was I last week? 34-17. 38-14.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Yeah. All right.
They just got to show us more this week, and we haven't seen it the last few weeks, and I hope we see it.
Yeah,
because they got it in them.
We want them to win.
Yeah,
we want them to.
So it's just tough. It's just tough when you get top 5 teams.
And you're playing a team that doesn't make mistakes. That's where the hard part is, right?
They don't turn it over.
Yeah.
Bauman
they don't beat themselves.
Yeah. He's thrown 1 pick all year. Bauman.
Oh, that's pretty good. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're ball control. They're smart. He's smart. It's tough. You can't count on turnovers. So you got to, when we got to produce it ourselves. And like we said, 3-phase game. I mean, you just can't count on much from them. And I don't know. Now, Matt, what do you got?
I'm thinking like 28-7, South Dakota. I don't really.
7.
Yeah, I don't think that. As much as I want to say that, yeah, we're going to go in and win this game decisively, I just don't think we have what it takes again this week. And the way South Dakota is playing, the way how good they're playing in the last 2-3 games. Gosh, I just don't think we have the horses to be able to pull off a win this weekend.
Right. Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm in the same boat. I got to see it first. We just haven't seen it for so many weeks. How can a person possibly sit here and say, yep, hey, this is the week we turned around? You just, jeez.
Because what did we say the first, how many weeks? They're playing with the energy and just the confidence. And we had our backs against the wall, but we were able to rebound, and we haven't been.
Right. Yeah. We just haven't, that spark hasn't been there. The energy, the light, the flip the switch type of thing, which you can't count on that. That's why we're so surprised earlier in the year. I was like, geez, how can a team flip a switch? Usually you can't do it, but they were doing it. And I think the opponent had a little bit to do with it, as we found out. But yeah, it seems like this South Dakota team's kind of on a mission. They're getting stronger as the year goes on, which is the goal,
right,
for most teams. And they won at Youngstown 27-17. That was probably the clunker of the bunch. Other than that, it was blowout city in every game. I mean, they've been hanging big numbers and shutting teams down. It's a hell of a combo.
Right.
Oh boy, what do we got? I'm gonna go a little more. I'm gonna go like a 31-10. I'm going to go something like that. I mean, I think it's going to be tough to get points just because we're limited. We're just limited on offense. We have to do something, in the off season to make it a little more dynamic, make it, better playmakers, more players type of thing. We got guys, but we're just limited, and we're playing the best defense in the league. I think they're arguably better than South Dakota State's defense. And I've talked to several coaches around the league that I know, and they backed me up on that. They said these guys are good. They're really good. And so, yeah, I'm going to do a 31. I mean, we're not picking our 3 predictions aren't very favorable to the home team, but we got to see it first. We're not going to sit here and be blind homers.
No,
I mean, so
we call it like we see it, and hopefully they prove us wrong. And if there's any motivation there, prove us wrong. Please do. I want to be wrong.
I'd love to be wrong.
I'd love to be wrong, right? and I want to be wrong and see us have a glimmer of hope for the playoffs. But I don't think we have it in the tank. And again, hopefully our guys take it to heart. And
remember noon kickoff. Yeah, I like those. I wish we did more. I liked going to noon kickoffs because it's over early. I don't do anything between 8 and noon. You know what I mean? Other than I'll hit tailgate.
Bag leaves, baby at home before you leave.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like there's nothing. I don't like 2:30 starts, 2:00 starts. It's just like dragging. I'd rather get up, get going pretty soon. By the time you're ready, it's like I got to get to the game.
Although I like the 6 o'clock start.
Montana.
Yeah, the Montana. Good. Yeah, the night one where you can kind of make an evening out of it. That I like that. But yeah, it seems like the 2:00.
One or the other.
Yeah, one or the other.
Noon 6.
Or hell, you make it 11.
Right, those 11 o'clock Big Ten kickoffs.
Big Ten kickoffs.
Yeah, I like it
too.
Yeah,
that'd be kind of cool. But I suppose it's a TV thing. But God, because you think
well, it's Midco. They can do what they want, right?
Well, they just got to schedule the programs all. But somehow they found that 1 o'clock worked and 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock worked. But yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Did 11 all.
I mean, 10 is pushing it, but 11, I think.
10. They're getting into the Dakota Bowl on Friday. Yeah, we got the Dakota Bowl championships on Friday. What's the first game at 9? I think it's 9 a.m.
When I worked in Ada, we covered 5 of the 6 prep bowl games.
Oh yeah,
on the radio. That was a long day, and we'd get to the Metrodome at like 5:30 in the morning, and then we wouldn't carry the big school, but we'd still get out of there at 9:30 at night. Once we tear it down, that was a long day of football.
That's a long day.
But a fun day.
Yeah. Yep.
And the Dakota Bowl, it's awesome what it's turned into. You know,
it'll be good environment this week. Well, especially with the bigger ball. How many schools are around here? It's Cheyenne and Davies, so that's going to be a big crowd because it's in the Fargo Dome, right? Double A's Horace, so Horace is going to be there with Red River. Red River will just drive down, So those last two games are going to be big. The single A is Kindred, so Kindred will have all their people here. It's 15 miles. It's going to be a big attendance number. I mean, they're going to make a lot of money this year. I didn't check the 9. Should have known who that would be, but
do they sell beer at the high school game?
No,
they can't.
I don't think
Maybe
they can. High school.
No, that doesn't.
That doesn't
go over.
Look how hard it was to get into college.
They just got in college last year. NDSU,
the Fargo Dome, just the last couple of years.
Oh, really? They didn't sell beer
UND's
before
had
that?
it since the Alaris opened.
Since it opened, and then UND, no shortage of bars too. That's what I love. How many bars they have set up in there? Full bars. I mean, I'm not talking like beer stands
on each end.
It's like, geez,
well,
then all the beer stands.
The guys in the end zone, I mean,
the guys in the end zone.
They need a lot of beer stands.
Well, they got the beer. The guys from Michigan there, and Macville and those guys. They got the beer stand right behind them. So it's up against the wall.
That's the best beer stand in the Alaris, right?
Yeah, the little one standing. Wow, it's 5 feet away from them. So they just sit and go back and forth. Okay, they don't have to leave it. It's fun up there. I'm glad they opened up those ends for people.
Right.
It is.
I just want to see 2 stories. The little hawk nest above.
We
kind of hit on that.
You had it designed for them.
I had it designed. They had the blueprint, so they need to follow through on that. What a great idea!
A structural engineer, quick and just to verify things.
I mean, it's strong enough to hold another level in that catwalk,
right?
Noon kickoff, 11 o'clock. You can hear the pregame. Coach Berg got a big award this week. Congratulations, Mike Berg. What was the award? I just
Media Broadcast Achievement.
Achievement North Dakota Athletics, award or whatever. But
well deserving honor.
Well deserved. Yep, he's done a lot
guy.
with Grand Forks, in general, and my father-in-law and him I love this story. Whenever they get together, they start talking about that they used to paint houses in the summer together to make money. They're both teachers, back in the 80s and didn't get paid a lot in the 80s teaching. They used to paint houses, and Mike Berg every day just drops his head, shaking his head. I can't believe we did that. I mean, hot 90 degrees outside painting houses, but more fun. I mean, that's hard work, and stuff. So those guys are funny, but he's been around. He came from Baker, Montana, I believe, came over and for his job at Central and never left. So a gym teacher there, football coach for a long time. And, and then obviously when he retired, then got in, him and I started in radio the year you quit, Tank.
Yeah.
Tank quit the sidelines because he wasn't going to go to Arkansas and California every weekend during the transition. So he pawned it off on me. And then I learned how long a trip
for you. It's be a long season.
Oh, God. Closest trip was Arkansas.
And
that was the closest road trip.
I'm guessing those were a lot of night games. So you were getting back to Grand Forks about 2-3 in the morning. And then the drive back to Fargo, another hour, 15. Yeah.
Oh, my God. And then my 2-year-old, Landon, who's 17 now, he was up at 7, excited to see Dad. Dad's home. Oh, my God. I might have got an hour and a half in. And then you don't say no to your kids. So I'm up the rest of the day. It's like, all right, let's go to I was at the park. I remember one time at 8:30 in the morning. He wanted to go to the park. It's right behind our house. All right, sounds good, bud. Let's go, type of thing. All right, so let's go to the park. 8:30 in the morning. I got home at 5. Oh, my gosh. Standing at a park pushing your kid on a swing.
If I remember correctly, the games that were at night, Friday night road trips were more fun.
Yeah,
with the parents, we had a good time with
South Dakota, because it was just us and them in the Great West. So the only road trip would be South Dakota. Get down there. I remember I went down with Dan. I think I drove with Dan Hammer down there to that one. But it's Yeah, Mike and I, but back to the point, Mike and I started together. That was his first year too. So 2008, on the radio. So yeah, he's been doing radio for 16 years now. So,
and how many schools color commentator is like having another coach on the,
it adds a ton.
Yeah. He's seen things. And he understands
things. He sees things. He sits in on things, and I'm sure he's given his opinion from time to time. And why wouldn't you when you have a guy like that?
And he kind of tells it like it is, And then when you listen on the radio, I got to listen a lot this past weekend, more than I ever have, because I was out and in the car, and he calls it like it is. Things just aren't. You can't do that. You can. Here's our deficiency. We're getting beat here. And stuff, and not just generalizing. He's pinpointing,
right?
Because he can see it. And he goes to practice all week. That's what people don't understand. He's at every practice. He shows up because he's retired now, so he's got some time, and he dedicates it to the program, which is great. So he's talking to coaches. He's getting a feel. So when he's calling the game for everybody, he understands coming in what they wanted to do, what they were hoping to do, what the other team can do. And then he can see if it's not happening or if it is.
It's a great resource to have. So congratulations again to Coach Berg, and Jack and Mike will be on the air 11 o'clock Central Time this Saturday, noon kickoff. The Alara Center Senior Day as the Fighting Hawks host the South Dakota Coyotes, and we look forward to being back next week to talk about the game and preview, hopefully not our last game of the year, but like we said, we're saying there's a chance. So we'll talk to you next week.